It's time to get away, and we are joined by our favorite travel duo on location today at a very beautiful location, destination for any vacation.
Travel journalist Justin Walter and Kinga Phillips joining us from the beautiful Dutch Caribbean island of Curacao. Curacao, what? What is it?
What? It's Curacao. You said it right.
Curacao. I even practiced and I still butchered it. All right, first up, great to see both of you. Where exactly is Curacao and how do you get there?
Yeah, Curacao is part of the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. It's one of 6 Dutch Caribbean islands. It's about 100 miles or less than 100 miles off the coast of Venezuela in South America. It's a 3-hour flight from Miami. So if you are anywhere in the US, you go to Miami and then you take a 3-hour flight there. And it has beautiful turquoise waters, white sandy beaches, a lot of adventure. It has Caribbean culture with Dutch influence, so much so that the downtown historic area of Willemstad that you see right there with those colorful buildings is a Dutch colonial trading settlement from the 1600s that is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a beautiful, beautiful island. And I just want to prove to you guys, we are actually sitting in the Caribbean. I'm going to turn our view to see what we have right here.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Look at that water.
The lighting is just, better this way, so we have to
Of course. It's all about good lighting.
Oh, we're familiar with all of this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember, this was actually featured in a season of The Bachelor. I think it was one of their, or maybe Bachelorette. It was one of the getaway places.
Look
So it's
at
the first
you.
time.
Did you watch?
I literally watched
Bachelor knowledge or
I literally
Bachelorette.
watched one season, and this is the one thing I took away. Is just how amazing.
You're like, I
this
gotta go to
destination
Curacao.
was. Right, exactly. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do outdoors, including rappelling off a bridge.
Oh my gosh,
Are you
these
kidding me?
pictures.
Is this real?
Let the girl who's afraid of heights tell you about that.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the Queen Juliana Bridge that overlooks St. Anna's Bay, which is gorgeous. That little porthole that you were looking at is what you have to climb through to get out. And when you get out, you stand on this tiny little ledge. You can see it right there, and you have nothing to hold on to. It's a 185-foot drop. That's me attempting the upside down maneuver.
Because you didn't want to look down, right?
Look at you do it. though.
Yeah. That is wow. And you see someone down there, so it is completely safe. Albert's got you from the top, his friends got you from the bottom, and the view is spectacular. That's once you calm down and your heart starts beating normally again. And I'll tell you, stepping out onto that ledge right there, and then they tell you to let go and you swing underneath is one of the scariest things I've done. Because there is no handhold and you are just trusting that rope. But the views are spectacular. And you're actually inside the bridge, which is pretty amazing. Wow. And then you step out onto that porthole. Albert is a police officer, so you know you're in good hands. There's Justin smiling. I was probably somewhere in the background sweating extensively from fear. And then this is the POV of you stepping out onto that little tiny ledge. And that's our team. Some people look really happy and some people look like they're a little scared. She's amazing.
Oh.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun, you guys. Really, really fun.
So Kinga is like one of the bravest people I know.
Yes.
So she's nervous. Then
She's
that's
a
like
shark swimmer.
Yeah.
All right, next you went scuba diving. Speaking of sharks, even though I'm sure it had nothing to do with it, you went scuba diving and lionfish hunting, like hunting for food or just to see them. What was that like?
Yeah, so lionfish are actually an invasive species. They are all over the world. Here in the Caribbean, they are here where they eat everything in their path. They are detrimental to ecosystems and coral reef. So lionfish hunting is actually good for the ecosystem. You go on scuba, you get a spear gun, and then you get close to the lionfish and you spear them. It was one of the most exhilarating scuba dives I've ever done in my life because it's one, fun to hunt lionfish with a spear gun. 2, you're actually doing something that's good and worthwhile for the environment because the more lionfish we kill and hunt, the better the ecosystem and the fish and the culture of the waters around is going to be. And yes, you can eat them. There's a conservation angle that Kinga loves so much, and I know she is excited to share what they do in terms of conservation.
So let me layer onto that and let you know, no one wants to toot their own horn, but this guy was the lionfish slayer of the day. He took out 5 of them. I've spearfished before and he blew me away. He was out there with this full spear. That's Lizette Close that you see in the video. She works with Lionfish Caribbean. Now, lionfish were an Indo-Pacific species that someone in a wonderful way, decided to dump out of their aquarium somewhere into the Atlantic Ocean, and now they have taken over. They have no natural predators here. Most fish spawn once a year. These guys can drop 50,000 eggs every 3 days. Wow. Once they're mature for the rest of their lives. And they eat absolutely everything. Their egg cases even have a repellent on them. So they are an absolute plague to Caribbean waters. So Lizette Cluse with Lionfish Caribbean has basically started this amazing spearfishing project here where they go out and they kill the fish. She opened a restaurant called Lionfish and Mangoes. There you see ceviche with the lionfish. They're delicious. You have to eliminate, they have about 20 venomous spines. You cut them off, and there is the jewelry that she makes out of their spines. So this lady is just, to my heart, an amazing conservationist. I'm actually wearing one of her pieces right now. This is made out of lionfish spines, and it's beautiful. So she uses every single piece of the fish to get those pesky buggers off the reefs.
Wow. That, I keep thinking, what if you miss one of the venomous spines and then consume it? I know she won't, but you did. There's a lot of them. Yes. All right, tell us about, what were you going to say?
The venom is only in the spine, so it's not in the meat. So
it's
good.
Okay.
So just get the spine
Good to know.
out.
Get the spine out.
That.
I know. You say venomous and then eat
to poke in some of their cocktails. I can't remember what they said, but they use the spine for things too. Yeah.
Yes. So the venom, and once you dry it out either in the sun or in an oven, it completely disappears. Okay. And then you can use those spines as toothpicks. So major cool factor.
I love that. All right. So tell us about some of the other species you saw while scuba diving.
Yeah, so in the scuba diving, we saw turtles, we saw eels, we saw lobster, we saw stingrays, we saw, there we go, the squid earlier. There's the squid. We saw the eels. There was so much marine life. Here's a spotted eel, or what is it? Spotted moray. Kinga's the expert on what's underwater. There's a lobster, and yeah, there's a kinga. I spotted a lot of kingas. My favorite moment was swimming with this turtle. We came upon it, and I had about a couple minutes just kind of floating around, mimicking it, following it in the water. Beautiful, beautiful underwater marine life in the Curacao waters. In the dive, our instructor told us, oh, you might see all of these things. We saw all of those things in the water. And I can tell you that in one dive, we saw such a variety of marine life.
And the reefs are really healthy and beautiful, really gorgeous soft coral, hard coral, clear, warm water. I think my watch was registering about 80, 81 degrees the entire time. I love it.
Yes.
Wow.
Did you even need wetsuits? Was it that warm and pleasant?
I'm always cold, so I'm always cold.
That makes sense. Okay, you also went ATVing around the island. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
So we took out the ATV and we went all over the island. We went to the north side of the island, which is a little bit more rugged, really beautiful.
Mud.
It's hilarious because apparently nobody else wanted to get dirty, and Justin and I saw a puddle and we were like, well, clearly this is what you do. You go as fast as you can into the puddle. And then our guide was like, what did you guys do? Everyone else is clean. But that was definitely part of the fun and a great way to see the terrain. These islands are not tropical. They're very desert-like. So you see the cactus there. You see how dry and arid it is. It's very much like Aruba. That's probably the most popular of these islands. But then the coastlines are just stunning with this turquoise water. And again, you see us going through the mud. We couldn't stop.
I love it. That's so you, and I love it. All right, so finally, good places to stay if we do want to plan a trip there.
Yeah, the Avila Beach Hotel is actually the oldest operational hotel in Curacao. It is close to the downtown area. Here's a drone footage of me walking out into our balcony. Beautiful, beautiful beaches. There's 2 private beaches on this property. There's 3 wings to the hotel itself. It is gorgeous. Paradise found right here. That is one of the private beaches right on the property of the Avila Beach Hotel. We absolutely love this property, and very cool that it is so close in walking distance to the UNESCO World Heritage Site downtown. This is walking to our bedroom. It almost looks like an overwater bungalow that you kind of see in the, Tahiti that we've talked about before on the program. Again, this is the balcony looking out into the beautiful turquoise waters at this property. So we highly recommend the Avila Beach Hotel. That was one of the properties we stayed at. We also stayed at the Marriott Bonvoy Curacao, which is another beautiful property, beautiful turquoise waters. Here you can see there's a pool right next to the beautiful turquoise waters. This is more of a typical Marriott hotel. It is beautiful in its buildings. Here's the bedroom looking over the pool and the water. Again, these properties are right on beautiful, stunning, gorgeous turquoise waters. So you have the dichotomy of both the pools and the beaches. Kinga and I, whenever we get to these hotels with pools, we say, why would anyone go in the pool when you have these beaches?
Right, exactly.
You know?
Seriously.
But
Yeah.
it gives you the best of both. So we highly recommend these two properties in Curacao. And I can say, honestly, I've been to a bunch of islands in the Caribbean. Curacao, as of now, is my favorite island I have ever been to in the Caribbean.
Whoa.
I would second that. And the culture, just the beauty of it, the way it's laid out, the people. We talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. It's a standout island.
So let's dig deeper in that, because I mean, there's so many beautiful. You have Jamaica, you have the Bahamas, you have you said Aruba, which I've been to, windy, which I noticed there a lot of wind, but it doesn't change the fact that it's so beautiful. But for you, I mean, you guys have traveled the world, so to say that's your favorite, island in the Caribbean is really saying something.
It has wonderful culture. It's beautiful. The buildings are gorgeous with the Dutch influence there. You feel very safe 100% of the time. We were also very lucky because our guide, Tirza, is a local who was so well versed in everything. She drove us around, showed us the beautiful street art, bought us ice cream. She was so much fun. And her insight, her knowledge, the people we met there, just the culture and the beauty of the island and how accessible it is, you don't feel like you have to stay at your resort. You can truly explore at leisure. We walked home at night through the streets and just had a wonderful time and felt super safe, which to me is always really important because I travel solo as a girl a lot.
Yeah.
So I really love the vibe there a lot.
And to add on to that, I think for me, it had such a wide variety of not only beach life, but adventure. And I think that's one thing in the other Caribbean islands I haven't necessarily seen, the amount of unique, different adventures, so you don't get island fever of just doing the same thing every day. And like Kinga said, the Caribbean culture with the Dutch influence is such a great combo.
All right, I'm booking my flights.
I want to go.
Right,
Let's go.
exactly.
Off the clock on location.
Seriously.
Sounds good to me. Well, thanks so much. You can follow Justin's travels by visiting his website, justinwalter.com, or on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, ATWJustin. And you can get more information about Kinga on her website, kingaphillips.com, or follow her on Instagram at kingaphillips. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
This was
guys.
amazing.
Bye, guys.
We love you.
Perfect.
Enjoy the
Thank
rest of your
you.
stay. Safe travel.
That was, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
for
impressed.
them to feel strongly about a
Said
particular location. I mean, they always traveled the most of me, but that, I mean, I've been to Aruba.
Yeah.
Never been to Curacao. Now I kind of
Now
want to go.
now we can pronounce it.
Right?
It's big.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is big. Thank you, guys.